I'm too old to start something new. I'm too young to be creating a new business. I've heard it all. I've seen people in all walks of life who are not confident in their abilities to create a YouTube channel or to be on social media, to start a new business. And I've also seen the complete opposite. I've seen instances where people defied the odds of creating a YouTube channel or being on social media. Like, for example, what if you were a Catholic priest with 1.8 million followers across the socials? Hi, everyone. I'm Alexandra. I'm a visibility strategist, a communications expert, was a publicist for many years, and I help people to grow their visibility and help them to stand out, share their message in a bigger way, and make a bigger impact. I also cover influencers, celebrity news, learning lessons, and I saw this particular instance of a Catholic priest that I follow, Father David Michael Moses. I first found out about him on Instagram. I saw his reels, they were super funny. And then as I was growing on YouTube, I started following him on YouTube, and he has such wonderful, profound videos. I happen to be Catholic, but you do not need to be Catholic to follow him. He's got a huge reach, and he's really building a big following and actually really impacting people all over the world. He just posted a video about whether or not priests should be on social media. And I watched it going in with one thought. And he made some really amazing points that I think can be relevant for you, no matter where you're at on your journey, whether or not you don't want to start something or are too scared to, or don't think you should, whether you just started and are maybe, lacking some confidence, need a little bit of a boost to get you going, build that momentum, or if you want to grow your channel to the next level. I think he's got some really wise words, and let's check them out together. So I'm not going to watch the whole thing with you, but I'm just going to highlight some bits and pieces of his video, and we'll dissect them together.
What's up, guys? I'm Father David Michael Moses, and today we're diving into a question people often wonder about. Should priests be on social media, or is it just a dangerous distraction? So in this video, I'll describe how I started on social media, what my mission here is, talk a little bit about some of the feedback I've received, and I'm also going to give you an analogy that blows a lot of people's minds, so stick around for that. So I just hit 1.8 million followers across all platforms, but this was not something I had planned out at all. In fact, when I first got ordained, I wasn't really thinking about social media. When I first became a priest, I was just overwhelmed with how much I loved it. I just loved parish work, saying mass, hearing confessions, going by the school to see the kids, hanging out with the young adults. It's not easy work, but it is so meaningful. And I just remember thinking, when I was 16 and I was discerning the priesthood, I wish I had known how beautiful this was. I thought, since I'm a priest now, I know what we do all day, maybe I should make a video about it. And maybe some young guys thinking about priesthood will see it and they'll find it helpful.
He makes a really good point, and it's something that I actually advise all my clients, and I'll advise you on this. You shouldn't create a YouTube channel or pretty much any brand or any social media platform just for, let's say, just for the money or just for the power, just for the glory or whatever it is. Because this is a business. You have to work at it. And so one key thing that he said is he had this passion for it. He loved the priesthood and he had this passion for it. So whatever you are choosing to create a channel around or whatever you're making a business out of, make sure that you're passionate about it. Because on those days when you've got to work hard, on those days when you want to quit, on those days when people are sending you negative comments, that passion is going to move you through. It's going to help you with that momentum that's going to keep you going, because this is not, I don't recommend building a channel just as a short game. I see this as a long game, and you want to make this sustainable for you, right? I never recommend posting multiple times per day and cranking out content, and just it needs to work for you. It needs to work for your business. It needs to work for your lifestyle. And it starts with something that you're passionate about. So he was passionate about the priesthood and he wanted to share his passion. And that's what was at the root of creating his channel.
Thankfully, I do have some background in video production. I actually made videos for the art gallery when I was in college, as well as for the seminary when I was there. So I had some gear and the basic skills to do it. So the next day, as I was kind of thinking through this, the next day I was actually baptizing quintuplets. And I thought, this is probably a once in a lifetime kind of thing. I should probably film this. And I also had a wedding that day and confessions. I did not film those. And we had a young adult group meeting. So I just took clips throughout the day, put them all together, and put the video online.
Okay. So the other thing that he did is here, he did a really good point, which is something that I recommend as one of the one of the viral strategies, is he talked about something that is either provocative or awe-inspiring, something that is going to cause that like, oh my God factor, right? Oh my gosh factor. And that is, I baptize quintuplets, right? Like there's not many quintuplets already. This is rarity. And then baptizing them is another, like a specific thing within that. And then his thumbnail here is this like young guy is he on the sitting on the hood of the car? I don't know exactly what the thumbnail is, but it looks like a young guy, and it just like he stands out because there's not a lot of young priests that are portrayed in the media. Usually priests are like, you see like the typical stereotypical priest is somebody who's like in their 70s or older, white hair, right? Like a really older person. And so he kind of doesn't fit that stereotype. So already there's a lot of things that stand out about him, and then him as a creator, and then the content. And it's very common that sometimes people have like these one-hit wonders, like they hit it out of the park and go viral, sometimes without even thinking about it, like it's a complete accident for them, because they post something like that that's really interesting and awe-inspiring, and then they go viral right away. And so I bet you he got a lot of traffic from a lot of, just it probably went pretty viral. And I don't know, it says 170,000 views 5 years ago. So, I mean, that's definitely something viral. And so, yeah, just something really weird, out of the box, like strange, a rarity, right? And so when you're creating content, if you want content that's going to reach more people, it's got to have, like, it has that provocative factor and the ability to go more mainstream, right? The priesthood isn't necessarily going to go mainstream, but the quintuplet thing has that more mainstream appeal.
And the response really wasn't what I expected. I'd expected there would be a few guys saying, hey, thanks for showing me the practical side of priesthood. And there were certainly those kind of comments, but instead, it seemed like a lot of different people found it interesting and helpful what priests did all day. So I kind of thought, maybe there's something here. Maybe I should lean into this. With my very busy priest schedule at the
That's another point that he makes that I think is super brilliant, which is that when you're creating content, especially at the beginning, I recommend putting out different types of content, putting out different topics within your category, and seeing what people respond to, right? I still think the quintuplet thing is the draw that got it, not just the day in the life of the priest. Although maybe the day in the life of a young priest, maybe that had a draw, but I think the quintuplet thing is what drew people, because that's the big rarity. And then the secondary rarity is a young priest, right? And who seems kind of like cool and hip. So put out different types of content and see what people are drawn to. I put out there's different content pieces. In fact, I re-engaged one of my channels because I covered something that had a very widespread, a mainstream appeal. And I started covering that. And when I covered something else that I thought also had that mainstream appeal, it also did pretty well, but not as well as the first topic. And so sometimes you need to put out different forms of content and to see what people are responding to. And sometimes it doesn't need to necessarily become a viral video, but you start to see what people are responding to, what gets engagement, what people are asking. If people are they asking questions? Are they following up? Are they giving you ideas, right, in the comments? All of that. Are they sharing it? All of these are good feedback for you when you're building your channel.
It took me several months to get a good system for making videos, which I'll outline for you in a moment, so I could post more consistently. But I finally figured that out. And yeah, we just hit 1 million followers on Instagram. We have close to 400,000 on TikTok and about 200,000 on YouTube. But here's the thing. What I love seeing the most is the comment saying, I'm an atheist. I don't know why I'm watching a priest, but hey, this seems cool. I followed. Those to me are the best because Jesus' great commission was to go out to all the nations. But what does that look like today? A friend of mine said recently to me, he said, people don't let you into their homes, but they let you into their phones.
So that's a really good point as well, right? So there's a way for you to reach a wider audience through social media, which is a great way or a great reason for you to be on social to widen your reach, widen your audience, get and attract more leads for your business or more followers.
If we're looking as Christians for effective ways of reaching people, hey, today, that's the internet. One thing people ask a lot is, as a priest, how do you have time to use social media? And really, the fact that my time is so limited is the reason I use social media. With as much as I have to do at the parish, we have 10,000 parishioners. My schedule is consistently swamped. With as much as I have to do here, it would be hard to find time to also go door to door in my neighborhood and invite every single person back to church. But I can spend 15 minutes filming a video, post it online, have millions of people see it. Then I can go back to my in-person ministry, and that video keeps preaching for me. It's a very high leverage way to reach a lot of people.
Okay, so this is probably the most important point that I want to make sure that is conveyed, is that you can have a one-to-one strategy, or you can be in a localized business. Like, let's say if you have a retail store, or if you are somebody who works at a gym, right? Something that's like more localized. However, if you put your business or your content on YouTube, you've got the ability to reach so many more people. And then if there's a way to monetize that through getting those leads or clients or sales, then you can exponentially make money from YouTube, not just from the ad revenue once your channel is monetized, but then from different sales. I've got clients who have their own online platforms that they use to leverage their social media followings. You might have a book that you can sell, you might have products, you might sell coaching. So you can earn revenue on YouTube through the ad revenue by being a YouTube partner, or you can leverage social media, you can leverage the leads and earn income from different sales, like for example, merchandise, books, whatever you sell. If you have coaching, if you have training, if you've got products, if you've got services, you can attract those leads with your content and then use that to sell your products or get them into a lead system and then follow up with them later. The beautiful thing about YouTube, and if you look here, this video is 9 minutes and 43 minutes, 9 minutes and 43 seconds. He got really popular with his, like he said, 1 million followers on Instagram, with his reels. Basically, they're short videos and they're funny and they're just super engaging. He uses viral songs, audios, dances and things like that. So he's a hip priest, right? And he gets a big following through that. But he's able to have these longer, deeper conversations and really, like he said, preach on YouTube, where he might attract them with the short videos, the really catchy viral videos, but then he is able to minister, he's able to preach with his longer videos on YouTube.
Social media gives us unprecedented access to exactly the group of people we're trying to minister to. Early on, people would ask, a lot of your videos are just funny. What's the point? Well, Jesus says we need to be fishers of men. And humor is really a universal language. So hopefully a funny post gets people to soften their hearts and opens them up to receiving more profound things. Maybe they follow.
Right. So exactly the point that I was just making, which is that you might attract people through the funny posts, but then you really, really minister to their hearts by having more deep conversations, having longer videos. As an example, one of my clients has a fitness brand. And so she posts shorts and she posts long, classes, longer classes. And so she might reach one audience through her shorts, and then they become subscribers, and then they're seeing little snippets, like short 1 minute videos of a specific dance, or maybe she's showcasing her personality in that. It draws people in, and then they stick around and they watch her tutorials and her classes, and then they came in through like a 1 minute video, and then they're just staying with her through all of her content, her longer videos, her classes, her tutorials. And then once they build up that the loyalty, right, then they may become a member of hers on YouTube, or they might buy one of her upcoming workshops, or they might buy one of her on-demand programs. And so just by, like I said earlier, trying the different types of content, you might be able to draw people to your channel where they're at, meet them where they are, to just kind of use this whole like spiritual theme. Meet them where they're at, draw them in, and then you can share more content that's going to speak to them.
Maybe they follow from a funny post, but then we bring the gospel, an invitation to confession, a prayer. So, what does this look like for me practically? I'm at a parish with 10,000 parishioners. The vast majority of my time is spent hearing confessions, saying mass, meeting with people for marriage prep, spiritual direction, tons of other stuff. So how am I able to also produce content with that schedule? Well, a lot of my ideas actually come from things that happen in ministry. I'm constantly prepping homilies, talking with people, answering questions from young adults. So a lot of it flows naturally. And I do look at the trends online, see how things will connect. And thankfully, I also have some people who will send me ideas. And I just try to keep track of all those. Then on my day off, or maybe a free Sunday afternoon, I'll try to record a batch of videos. I already have the camera set up in here with the lights and everything. So all I really do is I just come in here, I turn everything on, and I press record. This video right now that I'm doing will probably take about 10 or 15 minutes on my end. Then I'm super, super blessed to have some friends who help me edit, review the footage, and then help me upload. So I record and then I send all those files over to them. They edit it, I give it a final review, and then they upload it. That is a huge blessing that most people don't have, but it really enables me to be able to go back to in-person ministry, which is the primary objective for me.
Okay, so he just gave 3 really, really good points there. The first is he says that he batches content all at once. And so for those of you who complain that you don't have the time, well, that is a really good way to leverage your time, is to just sit down at one time and bust through the videos, the recording of the videos all at once. So that's one thing that is really smart. The second thing that he mentioned is that he gets ideas from his day-to-day life. Don't ever underestimate that some of the really funny things happening in your day-to-day life could become really great learning lessons. I like to take learning lessons from already what's happening, pop culture, celebrity news, because people are already interested in that. And then I apply learning lessons to that. Now, what I just said is probably what I would recommend, is that if there's ever like he said it himself too, if there's ever a trends or things already kind of happening out in the world, he's able to leverage those things to whatever the day-to-day thing idea that he's getting, right? Another thing that he does is that sometimes people send him videos, other people, and so he'll review and then give commentary on other viral videos or other viral concepts or topics or themes. And so he's already leveraging things that people are talking about and then applying his own spin on that as a Catholic priest. And then the third thing that he said is that he gets somebody to help him. Now, this isn't always going to be the case and not everybody's going to be able to do this, and it might not work for everybody. But you could find an editor, let's say on Fiverr or another freelancer site, for pretty inexpensive if it's too hard for you to edit. But I do encourage you to try to do it yourself because, one, it is a really good skill to learn to edit videos on your own. The learning curve is going to be high at the beginning, especially if that's not something you normally do. So I do encourage you to push through and, and work through it. And also, if you do learn how to edit your own videos, it actually makes it easier for you to, it's like you're a producer. You can teach, you can direct your own videos once you know how to edit. And then you can also guide the editor on how to edit, on what things you want. Like maybe you don't know all the flashy bells and whistles, but you can say, hey, editor, add some flashy bells and whistles here at this point and at this point and at this point, right? So you can be more of a producer and director in the video rather than just allowing your editor to do everything. You become more invested in the video production itself. Now, I'm not going to share the rest of it. He actually makes a point about saying that there are dangers to social media. Of course, he's speaking about there's dangers for kids, there's dangers for people on social media, meaning a lot of the content can be, can be soul ripping. And so, but if you're watching this, most people that I know, most people that I work with create really purpose-driven content. They have content that is helpful, that is purposeful, that there is a mission, there's a passion behind it. And so I know if you're watching this, you're not creating that type of soul ripping content. You're creating content that is actually being, that's actually furthering the mission, that's being helpful, that's being purposeful. And so we, as these types of content creators, mission-driven, purpose-driven, passionate content creators, are actually helping to elevate the content on social media. So I say continue on, and hopefully this priest is an inspiration for you to be able to create content as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. What did you find helpful? Was there a tip or a takeaway from the father that could really help you when you're thinking about either starting your channel, creating content, or how to build that following so you can reach more people with your message? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you like this video, if you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you do. I cover tips and strategies to help you grow your visibility, learning lessons, do's and don'ts from popular culture, celebrity news, and other topics that are interesting and trending in the world. And if you like this video, you'll also enjoy this one as well. And with that, have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye for now.